Be the Best You podcast. The sole purpose of this podcast is to teach, inspire, and motivate everyone to be the best versions of themselves. How you doing, everyone?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I brought my pet friend with me here. I'm just playing some microphone. So I wrote a speech for you guys today, and it's called Succeed No Matter What. So obviously you heard part of what he just said, that I got locked up and I was gone for 13 years. May 1st have been 8 years that I've been home. So in the 8 years that I've been home, I am owner of Dawson Deaton Holding Company. We have vacation rental properties. We have 6 oceanfront rentals, condos. We have boats. We do real estate. We have renovations. We do all type of renovations on your home. I also own Carolina Lawn Care Professionals, and I also own BTBU Fitness. I'm also a husband and a father, which is probably the most important thing in this world to me. But all of that, came from a mindset of no matter what happens to you, you can be successful. No matter what odds are stacked against you, what adversity you go through, whether it's a tragic loss. I made a promise to my mother when I was locked away that I would fulfill my potential and I would stop wasting it living the way that I was living, and that I would make her proud. And when I came home, I really had that goal in mind. I was trying to do that, and I was doing everything, being successful. And a couple years in, just at 65 years old, out of the blue, she died. And so I meet people that have adversities, whether it's illnesses, deaths in their family, going to prison, having financial setbacks, a business that doesn't succeed, a marriage that doesn't succeed. And when these things happen, we tend to let those things spiral or beat ourselves down or question ourselves, and we let fear kick in. I tell people all the time, fear is not real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Like saying there's a boogeyman in the closet, but there's really not a boogeyman in the closet. So we tend to think that, maybe we're not good enough, or we can't succeed at something, or something happens. Like, why is this happening to me? Or I'm not good enough, or maybe I shouldn't have this position, but you should. Because everything we do in this world starts in our mind. So with the right mindset, you can do anything and you can overcome anything. And you can do whatever you want. When I was gone away, I made the decision that I was going to study, and I was going to change my life. I was going to change my mindset. I was going to educate myself. I was going to dedicate, myself to fitness and growing mentally, spiritually, and physically. Because I believe that to truly be the best version of yourself, you have to have all three of those on point. If you're not right mentally, physically, and spiritually, you cannot be complete. So if you have one or two of those things and you don't have the third, you will never be completely whole in the best version of yourself. The name of my company that I started when I came home is BTBU, which is Be the Best You. And I mean that to the highest degree, like to be the best you. So that means being the best husband or wife. That means being the best business person. That means being the best friend. That means being the best at everything you do, where it's cutting your grass, folding your clothes, cooking your dinner. So I don't believe in leaving any single stone unturned. My wife is here with me. She can probably tell you that about me, that I won't let any single area in life slip. Whether it's cleaning my car, folding my clothes, it doesn't matter what it is, because we have the ability to be great at everything. We just choose not to. We choose to be lazy. We choose to take the easy route. We choose to do stuff, play on social media, or watch TV shows, or be distracted by worldly stuff, instead of focusing on the things that's most important, which is us, our life, our health. This is the only life we get. By sharpening our mental, our physical, and our spiritual being, and being the best version of ourselves. How many of you in here know who Nelson Mandela is? So Nelson Mandela fought what was going on in South Africa, apartheid, and trying to bring people together. And they locked him up for that, basically. And they sent him to 27 years in prison. 27 years in prison. Not just 27 years in prison, they used to beat this man. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read the book, The Long Walk to Freedom. They would go in and beat this man every day. He got to know every guard's name. He got to know their family, When they would come in to beat him, he would call them by their name and ask them how they was doing, how their family was doing, how their kids was doing. To the point they felt so bad they didn't even want to go there and do it. When he got home, when he got released and he came home and everyone was so happy that he was coming home and he ended up becoming the president and everyone thought that he was going to run the people out that had been oppressing them for a long time, even his own wife, he said no. No, he said, I'm going to bring everybody together instead. Because me pushing them out is the same as what they was doing. They was pushing us out. But instead, I'm going to stop that cycle and I'm going to bring everybody together. Mental strains. 27 years in prison. Your life taken from you, your wife, your family, everything, your freedom, you're beat, you're tortured every single day, and you still have the ability to come home and have mercy and love in your heart and help and bring people together. I said that to you because that is the ultimate overcoming adversity. 27 years of someone's life gone, just like I lost 13 years of my life. So I have this thing where I like to study people that are extremely successful. And when I was gone away, I handpicked people, like Babe Ruth, Steve Jobs, Marcus Aurelius, and so forth, so on, Martin Luther King. And I studied these great people because I wanted to know, what makes them different than us? What separates them from us? Why isn't everyone like this? What I realized was I was very blessed. I had some of the same qualities as some of these people as I was studying them. I would study what they did as a child, what pushed them to be who they are, why they never stopped. And one thing I realized was that they had this common trait that I had that I was very thankful and blessed when I found that out, was that if they make their mind, if they decide that they're going to do something, that's what they're going to do, no matter what obstacle comes their way, they will not stop. You can knock them down 200 times, they will get up 201, and they never flinch on what their goal was. And no matter what, they will succeed. Their will to succeed is unbreakable no matter what came at them. Elon Musk is someone, I'm sure everyone in here knows who he is. He's someone that has caught my attention recently because I hear people say stuff, and when I hear people say stuff, I say to myself, is that true, or are people just saying that? Because that's what people do. People say something and they spread it to the next person, so forth, so on. So I've been studying and reading about him lately, reading articles, listening to him talk, figuring out where he got his money from, how he got started, why is he so successful at everything he does. There's this misconception. Someone said to me the other day, his family gave him the money. No, they didn't. When he was 17 years old, he left South Africa and went to Canada dead broke. And after 1 year of college, he stopped college. Him and his brother created this online content that put newspapers online for the first time ever. They ended up selling that company and he walked away with $20 million in his pocket. A couple years later, him and another partner invented PayPal. He walked away with $200 million in his pocket at that time, which he did Tesla, the drowning company, SpaceX, and even recently Twitter. And I hear all the talk about people saying he messed up Twitter and he did this and did that. No, what he did was he took a failing business and he made it a profitable business. I know people were upset because he changed their toy around and he messed with their toy. But that business for 3 years in a row had lost $100 million. That's why it was sold. No business in this world can succeed losing $100 million per year. 3 years in a row, this business lost $100 million and was about to go under. He bought them. In less than 1 year, he's made it to where they're making $5 million profit per month. That's a $160 million swing in less than 1 year. So when you hear people putting him down and saying stuff about, oh, he messed Twitter up and stuff. No, he took a failing business and made it a profitable business because of his mindset of I will succeed, I will not fail. So he grabbed a hold of something that wasn't succeeding and made it succeed. I like to learn stuff like that and study stuff like that because it shows that no matter the obstacle or no matter what comes your way, you can still succeed. No matter what. It doesn't matter if you've had a failed marriage. If you had a failed marriage, that doesn't mean that you're a terrible person, that you can't succeed or that you can't have a successful marriage. The issue is most people, when life hits them and shows them stuff, they don't take that lesson and apply it to life. But life is the greatest teacher. Life will teach us everything we need to know. The issue is most people don't take in the knowledge that life teaches them, so they continue to make mistakes. How many people in this room know someone, at least one person, that's been in a bad relationship after a bad relationship after a bad relationship because life has showed them and taught them, but they didn't learn anything from it. So now they continue to make that same mistake, same mistake, same mistake. I give you that analogy, but business is the same way. Business is going to show you what's going to work for your customers, how to get more customers, what is the best way to make revenue, what are the best ways to succeed, should I be using social media, should I be promoting the old school way? When you want your business to succeed, my businesses are at a level that I probably don't have to do this, but I still do small stuff. I'll make flyers with cards and go put them in people's mailboxes. If you really want to succeed, all you have to do is work and try. When I was locked up and I came home, of course, I spent that time back there. I didn't do time like most people. I created a 10-hour-a-day rule, and that 10-hour-a-day rule, I did this every single day. I didn't take a single day off. It didn't matter if I was sick and couldn't get out of bed. It didn't matter. Every single day, 10 hours. 7 hours studying, whether it was schoolwork, reading about great people, reading about history, reading about finances, reading about economics, and 3 hours a day physical fitness. Because I had this mindset that if I did this during my entire bid, when I came home, there would be nobody as physically or mentally as sharp as me. When you want to do something, you just have to make yourself take those steps and not let the distractions get the better of you. Because you can succeed no matter what it is, you just have to put in the work. When I came home, obviously people weren't beating my door down to give me a job after being gone that long, but it didn't matter. I worked 3 jobs, I slept in the trunk of my car for 6 months, I lived off of one of the checks, and I saved the other 2 checks. Now, I've traveled all around the country speaking to a motivational speaking, very successful now, but just 8 short years ago, I was in a prison cell and then sleeping in a car and then working jobs I didn't want to be working. But I knew that if I outworked people and did what other people didn't want to do because they were lazy and didn't want to take those steps, then I could surpass everyone. And that's what happened. And there's no magic trick to it. The only magic trick to it is to do it, to believe in yourself, to not let distractions get in the way, to not let setbacks get in the way, to not let fear get in the way, but to believe in yourself, believe in your business, believe in your mission, and push and succeed. My relationship with my wife is amazing. I absolutely adore my wife, and when we go places, people always comment, y'all are such a beautiful couple, y'all have such a beautiful relationship. But even that doesn't just happen naturally. You meet someone, you fall in love with someone, you go through the motions of life, you start to get separated, you got kids, you got jobs, you got everything. It doesn't have to be that way though. You can make sure that you stay zoned in. Put in the extra time, spend the extra time, hold the hand, bring some flowers home, tell them you love them, make time for them. It's just like anything else. It's just like your business. It's just like your relationship with your kids. It's just like anything else that you want to be successful at and have something that's really good. You put in the time, you put in the effort, and you put in the work, and it will succeed. That's why the name of the speech today is Succeed No Matter What. Because I promise you, life can be tough, and life will throw you curveballs. It could be an accident on the road. It could be losing a parent. It could be a financial setback, but that's only a speed bump. That's only a speed bump in life. When you run over a speed bump leaving out this parking lot, it's not going to stop you. You're going to continue to drive and go to wherever your destination's at. Business has to be the same way. When you hit that speed bump, you have to continue to push forward. So I challenge everybody in here today to think about areas that you know you could do better, areas where you've been slacking, where you haven't put in as much effort as you probably could. Think to yourself, why am I not doing that? Why am I not making new business cards? Why am I not passing out flyers? Why am I not making a social media post? Why am I not telling the strangers that I meet at the gas station about my business? Why am I not doing this? Why didn't I buy the magnet for my car? Because you can always do more to succeed. And advertising, I remember my uncle, He's an entrepreneur. He's owned several different businesses. And one thing he told me a long time ago that I remembered since I was a kid was he said, the key to success is advertising. You have to advertise, 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 advertise. The more you advertise, the more business will come your way. So that's just a little nugget to pass along. Just remember that. I'm not saying you guys don't do that. I'm just saying there's always more opportunities. If you're doing a lot of advertising in person, but you're slacking on social media, pick it up on social media. If you're doing a lot on social media and you're slacking in person, pick it up in person. But there's always ways to push more, to succeed more. And a lot of us, as we're going through the motions in life, we get distracted, by social media, TV, reality television, politics, the news, talking, stuff like that. But I challenge everybody to look at that time. Look at the time that you waste in a day doing that. Whether it's 20 minutes talking to people, whether it's 45 minutes on social media, whether it's an hour and a half watching TV shows, and say to yourself, man, I did this. That's 3 hours of my day. What if I cut that just in half and said, you know what, an hour and a half of that, I'm dedicating that to my business or my family from now on? How much further along would your business or your family or whatever else that you need to invest in be? I'm gonna talk to you real quick about Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs was a young man. He was known as kind of a hippie. Just take acid and smoke weed and created the Apple computer, him and Steve in the garage. And people thought they was a joke. People thought that, these young hippie kids, they don't know what they're doing. But one thing about Steve Jobs is Steve Jobs believed in himself and what he was doing 100%. And no matter what came his way, he never flinched. Never. Obviously, he blew up Apple to what Apple is. The shareholders didn't like him because of the way he carried himself. He wore flip-flops, jeans, and a t-shirt. They ended up forcing him out of his own company. He left his company and went create a Pixar. Pixar started to overtake Disney as the #1 animated movie producer in the country. Now, obviously, Disney, the umbrella brand is bigger. So what they did was they wanted to take out the competition. They bought that company from him for $3 billion. So he got forced out of Apple, which he created, went and created a Pixar, then sold it for $3 billion, and then Apple begged him to come back. When he went back, he took them from 4th place back to 1st place again until the day he died. But he did it his way, and he did it with 100% belief in himself and what he was capable of doing. And no matter what the distractions were, no matter people trying to push him to the side, no matter people putting him down, telling him what he couldn't do, no matter what obstacle came his way, even when he was diagnosed with cancer, he never flinched. He never stopped. He never quit pushing to make sure his brand and his dream succeeded. Even to the last day, dying, sick of cancer, he still didn't let that stop him. So keep that in mind, as you guys, I don't know you guys, some of you sound like you're entrepreneurs and some of you have your own businesses. Whatever it is, you can succeed at the highest level. There's no reason that whatever company or business that you have can't be the #1 business or company in that field. The limitations that we put on ourselves is what holds us back. But if you had the mindset, almost like walking up to the wall and flipping a switch, when you flip that switch up and say, no, I'm taking this company to the next level. I might not be able to do it today, and I might not be able to do it within 1 year, but I have a 5-year plan, and I'm going to execute it step by step by step by step, and I'm going to make sure that I put in all the effort. I will not let it fail. I will not let it fail. And you put in the effort and the work, whatever business you have in here, it can be the #1. You can outdo them. Because the only thing that's stopping you from doing it is you. There's nothing, because when you walk out that door, you're free. I've been somewhere where you're not free before. When you walk out that door, you're free. You have the opportunity to do what you want with your life or your business. There's no one that's stopping you. You have the decision today to promote your business, to just go about your normal day, to do something extra, to create something new. You have the ability today and every single day to put as much effort into it as you want. Just like every other aspect of your life. Your finances, your friendships, your relationships, your business, everything. So succeed no matter what comes at you. And if business isn't going the way that you want, that happens sometimes. We all have our slow moments. That happens. You have to find ways to generate more business. Think outside the box. Too many times this is what people do. This is my business, and I do this, this, and this to make my business work. But then people will come to me and say, Larry, my business is slow. I'm not getting enough customers. I don't know. And I'm like, well, what have you been doing? You know, like, I've been doing this, this, and this. Well, what else have you been doing? Well, no, like, that's what I do. Yeah, but like, that's what you do, but that's not working. So what else are you going to do? Because you need to do some more to get more clientele and more customers. So you have to think outside the box. You have to take different steps. When you put something on yourself, it's on you, whether it's going to succeed or not. And that's with everything. That's if you get married and you're in a relationship. That's if you decide, I want to be in physical good shape. I don't want to not be in good shape. That's it. If you say to yourself, I want a nice house, I want a nice car, I want nice boats, whatever. To get any of that, you have to put in the work, no matter what comes at you. I'm not preaching at you guys today. I'm talking to you guys. When I came home, I didn't have any family to help me. I don't have family to this day, except for the family that I've created through my wife and my family, with my kids. But there was no mentor there. There was no coach there. There was no family there. There was no encouragement there. I didn't even tell people what my dreams were because people will try to put their limitations on you. And I didn't want to tell people I'm going to do this, this, and this, even though I had been plotting on this for years. In 2006, I read the book, The Law of Attraction. And since 2006, I have used the law of attraction for every single aspect of my life. And it has worked for me with everything. But I didn't tell people what my goals or my dreams were because I didn't want people to be like, oh, you can't do this, or oh, that's too much, or oh, how are you going to be on a stage speaking in front of 20,000 people? Who's going to know who you are? But I've done that several times. You have to know within yourself what you're capable of and what you can do. And not let anybody tell you different, and not let anything that comes your way stop you from succeeding at that level. In 2020, in February, I spoke at Tony Robbins' business seminar in front of 40,000 people. If I had told someone that 8 years ago, sitting in a jail cell or about to come home, that I would be at Tony Robbins' event in Nashville speaking in front of 40,000 people, no one would have given me a chance. People are like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. That's why I didn't put that out there. That's why I made the decision here, and I took the steps to execute it. When I first started speaking years ago, I would speak at churches, at rec centers, at schools for free. Until people started to take a notice of it and people started to record me and get on my YouTube channel. Then I started speaking at colleges. Then I got hired for a couple of medical events. Then I started getting like some bigger stuff. So you just have to put in the work. And sometimes to put in the work to get where you want, there's sacrifice at the beginning. Because at the beginning, it's not always going to be successful. But you're laying the foundation. It's like when you go build a house. And when you're building a house, you're spending all this time and you're putting this foundation and you're putting the sticks up and you're like, man, this is taking forever. Like, where the hell is the house at? It's coming. It's coming. But you have to make sure the foundation's straight first. And then you build it up from there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with your relationship. It's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with your being, all of it. Mental, physical, and spiritual. So remember that going forward. The key to success is you. The key to success is you. You can do anything and there is no limitations. The only limitations are the limitations that we put on ourselves. You can succeed no matter what. Thank you.